Hello. There was so much information in last episode, it couldn't be contained. So we had to have part 2.
Oh no! Oh no! No, no!
Happy New Year. Wrap up for 2024. That's so 2024. I'm Dr. Paul.
I'm Dr. Paul.
I still have a head cold, as you can tell.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Father, son, boomer, millennial, talking about movies, pop culture, all that kind of stuff. Go back and watch every single episode we've ever done over the last year and a half. We drop a new episode every
single week.
Every single Thursday, as well as What to Watch, which drops
Mondays.
on Sundays or Mondays, depending on whenever you can get around to it.
Mondays.
Yes, well, thank you for that.
We'll see how long that goes for.
Yes.
Every week. I don't want to do that video.
I've been carrying this show on my shoulders for a long time. So
I don't know what it is.
Yes,
Like
and
it
then
was
you guys.
new. We'll see what happens.
But last episode, we did sort of, took a helicopter view of 2024, and we came up with sort of 14 themes of different things about movies, best trailer, best soundtrack kind of stuff. So this particular episode, we have 7 more.
Part DEUX.
Yes.
Or part DEU, the Redux. They don't mean anything.
Okay.
Words. But this 7 is a little different than the last 7. I think these are a little bit more original ideas in terms of like categories. Now, I didn't ask like some strange things, but these are not categories that you will necessarily see at other award shows probably. So I thought apt to put them here and give us more breadth over our year and what we're looking at here.
We'll get to it.
Today, Junior!
See what I got to put up with? We're gonna do a drawing like Regis and Kathy did when Kathy Lee left and Regis picked a new co-host. We'll do that soon.
Regis and Kathy Lee?
Yeah.
You think our audience is tuned into Regis?
Well, they call it Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan now. Every time someone else leaves, it changes a name, but only one of them leaves. So then we still have an old co-host, but now the old co-host is actually not an old co-host, it's a new co-host. I digest.
Are you like 70?
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
We're sending help immediately, Mrs. Fletcher.
I like Price is Right. Bob, let's see what he's... Okay. Anyway, to start off, what a good segue is that you watch me disappoint my father. Let's talk about disappointment in cinema. And our category to kick this one off is biggest disappointment of 2024. There were some movies that I could have put here. There were a lot of movies I could have put here. And most of you would probably say, Paul's going to put Joker Folie 2. And you're probably right. I probably would put that there.
I'm already tearing up.
But I didn't see it because I heard it sucked that bad. This one hurts just as much, though. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Don't look at me while I say this.
Shut up. You had me at hello.
Maxine, from director Ty West with Mia Goth, was my most disappointing film this year.
You have been raving. Oh, we got to see it. We got to see it. We got to see it. And you saw it.
Supposed to be the best. It's not a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad movie. It's a 5 out of 10, 5 and a 5 out of 10. But when you're supposed to be the crown jewel of the X trilogy, and you just throw up on the floor and try to pass it off, I can't give you credit.
I didn't know there was an X trilogy.
Yes. It starts out with Pearl, and then you go to X, and then Maxine.
There's no X in Pearl.
No, it's not about it's the actress gets her start there.
Okay.
The actress that's the killer in 2 is the little girl in 1, right?
I didn't see either. I didn't see any of
Well,
the trilogy. Is it
Who
an
am I talking-
A24?
Yes. Who am I talking to here? Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth Debicki, Mia Goth, Bobby Cannavale, Michelle
Oh, I know.
Moynihan.
You've talked about it before, and this trailer is really something.
I like some of the vibe that they give off, the 80s vibe. That's really cool. They do a good job of that. But it just seems to answer no questions for me. And there isn't anything that, like, there's no wow factor in the film whatsoever. There are wow factors in the other two that I'm just like, what the flip's happening? In this, I just kept waiting for something to happen, and it just never did.
I'm shocked.
I'm sorry. I'll see the next one, guys. I will.
So it's going to be the X quadrilogy.
Well, no, the next movie they do, inevitably.
Okay, on A24.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, my most disappointing,
If you say my name, I'm going to come over there.
this is where you roll that beautiful bean footage.
I think this could well be the greatest movie ever made by perhaps one of the greatest directors in my lifetime. And the director is Francis Ford Coppola, and the movie is Megalopolis.
Gosh, great.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, woo.
It wasn't.
So this is where you landed on it.
Megalopolis.
Okay.
There's a part of me that just like, yeah, I think maybe in 10 years from now, I'm going to say this was an amazing film.
It's just not 10 years from now yet.
It isn't. It's confusing. It's beautiful to watch. It's like 2001 Space Odyssey, where I just remember after seeing that with friends and then going and, to a pancake house and eating waffles and drinking coffee and debating what did we just see.
Mhm.
It's going to take a whole lot of waffles and coffee to make sense of Megalopolis. The performances are just amazing, but I said could potentially be the greatest movie ever made, and I was disappointed in it. I think in our world, things are so visible with reviews, so that before a movie even gets the chance to find its audience, it's already been slammed on different review sites. And so people stay away from it. I wonder if it would have been different if we didn't have things like Rotten Tomatoes and people found it and had a chance to think about it and talk instead of having their opinions guided by the review elite. But I just, even at Cannes Film Festival, when I heard sort of the reaction that
It
they
changed
got,
your perception already.
it did. It lowered so I still would like to see it again. But it was my biggest disappointment this year. I'm embarrassed that I played it up so much to you.
I don't consider myself a big reviewer by any stretch, but I feel like because of that, I refuse in any review that we do for a film ahead of the time, like the What to Watch, I will never quote a film's poor performance on a rating site. I refuse to do that because I don't want to hurt the art. I will quote a great rating to say, hey, go see this. This has got a 98%, go watch it. But I have a very, very difficult time in my heart saying, this movie is a 50%. It's not even out to audiences yet. And you're slamming it? How's that fair? You may have something against this guy. Maybe you don't like the actor. Maybe you don't like the director. Maybe it's your ex-boyfriend. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got a bone to pick with it that has nothing to do with the art itself.
Which was most disappointing, Megalopolis or Maxine?
I didn't have the same high hopes for Megalopolis as I did for Maxine.
So
it was disappointing because you talked it up. But there were two movies that I wanted to make sure somehow got on these lists in some way to get recognition. Horizon and Megalopolis, because I think there's something there. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I totally get why you would put it here.
Yeah. Okay.
So I get it. Tough little category to kick things off with.
Yep.
Right? So let's move on to number 6. Most overlooked film of 2024. And you said you did something where it was released, but then it didn't come out in theaters in America until this year. Well, this film falls in said category because it was released in 2022. And this was a movie you put on one of our very, very, very first lists.
And you've referred to this as the Shawshank Redemption Award.
Yes.
For a movie that was sort of under the radar that people really need to seek out.
Mm-hmm. And it is Hundreds of Beavers by Mike Chesnick. Watched it the other day, finally. Had to. Once I knew that he categorized them this year.
Did you watch it while you're working out?
No.
Okay.
No.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, you should. You should watch it.
That was one of the first episodes we ever cut.
Just said that. I just said that. Yes. It is just the most interesting concept of all time. Think of it as Sunday morning cartoons for adults. And you'll have a grand time. And that's probably the best time to watch it. Wake up on Saturday morning, and I feel like it should be snowy outside, but maybe that's just because of the movie. Get you a bowl of cereal.
A bowl of cereal that's like that big.
The biggest bowl you have. It has to have marshmallows in it. And watch that movie and eat your bowl of cereal, and you will have a grand old time. I'm telling you, it's perfect. I understand why it was made now in this sort of the way YouTube and social media has changed filmmaking. And this is the product of said that. So you got to see this. It's just a treat.
I saw that it was playing for free now, and I thought I need to go and watch that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But I think you're right. I need to be in the right mood, and I need to find some vegan cereal that I can eat. Yeah. So,
Get you some wheat germ.
my choice for most overlooked Shawshank Redemption film, Last Stop in Yuma County. Yes. You liked it. Loved it. That is
Loved it.
Director Francis Gallipoli,
Galuppi, I think is how I was saying it, but I don't know if that's right.
Yeah. On deck to film the next Evil Dead film kind of stuff. It's
Is he?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll be there.
This is an example of what I said earlier, where you have a film that all takes place in one space.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's a diner. And it is absolutely, when we did our quick take review of it, we were in Louisville for Wonderfest. Oh, we love me some Wonderfest. Go back and check out our if you're into models, sci-fi, horror, that kind of stuff, Wonderfest is the place to be in
Not
June.
Victoria's Secret models, the other kind.
Yeah. But we were there, and we happened to watch a movie in the hotel room and then did a review of it. It is, the word that we kept using over and over again is surprising. Things would happen that you would never, if you were to play 5 minutes of it and stop the movie and then say, now what would be the most surprising thing could happen at this point? You never would predict what's going to happen. But it didn't seem like it was like, let's just make it so surprising just for the sake. Yes, it made perfect logical sense in the context of people's motivations and stuff, but it was just so fresh and different, and I love it. It really is one of my favorite. This is my top 10. And I think I've never seen anybody else put that film in their top 10 films of the year, but it's great.
I agree. Totally agree. Great movie. Maybe it'll be on my list later. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. It's potentially.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
But I love that you said that he's doing the next Evil Dead film, because that is the Bee's Knees Part 2.
It's probably not A24, though.
Well, then you can't see it.
And David Fincher has nothing to do with it.
Wouldn't it be easier to put a pillow over my face while I sleep?
I mean, you just keep striking out. All right, moving on to best. And now, I didn't want a bunch of categories, muddying up the waters here. So I threw all this slog into one category just for you. And instead of having them all different, we put them in one. So it's best remake, sequel, and or adaptation. 2024. So you could pick any of them. And this was easy too. Smile 2. Did you see either of them?
I saw 10 minutes of the first one.
The first 10 minutes is the best 10 minutes. Well, it's not the best 10 minutes, but it's good. Anyway, that's the best remake. And it's for two reasons. Obviously, it's a great movie to begin with. The first movie's great. But in the era of, we got to have it now, it did great. Turning out a sequel so quickly with the same director, you have every reason that this should have been a terrible, blasé movie, but it wasn't. And in fact, it's better than the original. It's 10 points higher by both audience and critics in the categories on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's a better film, and I think it deserves to be here because of that. It wasn't the scariest movie. I think people have been putting it a lot in the scary category. It didn't scare me the same way, but I just thought it was a very entertaining
I've seen it
film.
everywhere and seen it in a lot of lists of scariest movies.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it is just because of the faces that they make, and I didn't think they were all that scary. I thought they were kind of silly, but it's a very, very good movie nonetheless.
Yeah. This category, when you talk about the best remake, sequel, adaptation, pretty much that's every movie made in
Right.
2024.
Right.
Because there's nothing new and different and original. And so I had a hard time picking kind of stuff. I thought about, the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is one of the better, I thought of that. I thought Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, that came out. Carry On, which is in some ways, you haven't seen that yet. It's kind of like a remake of Die Hard, and it has all kinds of Die Hard, do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg?
No, this is the one with the kid from legendary Kingsman kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. He works in an airport as a TSA agent kind of stuff. So it's all in the airport kind of stuff. Thought of that. Thought of In a Violent Nature, which is kind of like a reboot adaptation of slasher films. In the end, I went with the movie. I was like, all of those I've seen once. There was one I saw 3 times. Equalizer 3. I love the Equalizer film, Denzel Washington. You ever
I
seen?
have never seen any of them.
What's wrong with you?
Every Denzel Washington movie that comes out is the same.
No.
I got to say this, though, because you just mentioned Denzel Washington. It's not a good movie. Gladiator 2, Denzel Washington. Holy f***. He's really good in that. He's so nuanced. He's so different. He's really good in that movie. I had to say that. I watched it last night.
I love Denzel Washington, and I love The Equalizer. I never watched the TV show that came out, I think, in the 80s kind of stuff, and I think
There's a
there's
new
one.
TV show with
Yeah.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, so, but it's a nice spin on sort of the action, the person and this one was really brilliant, takes it to another country, and,
They just all run together.
it's
Liam Neeson and him. They just all look so. Every one of them looks exactly.
Liam Neeson is not worthy.
I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying, but every one of those trailers is exactly the same, and they don't do anything for me that makes me want to watch them, so I don't watch them.
You were dropped on your head as a baby.
And who was in charge?
Your mother. I think you need to give the Equalizer films a chance. I think you could probably just start with 3 if you want. I don't know that there's anything about it, but they're all really good. They are Jason Statham films without the muscles kind of stuff. They're more intelligent, sort of. I think they're wonderful. I really do. And I saw 3 times. I streamed it. It's just delightful. It's just really.
I mean, you had to have seen it more than once.
I feel like I need to, I'm going to make a pact that I'm not going to allow you in my house until you've gone back and watched Equalizer.
Is that the hill you want to die on?
Yes.
Equalizer 3? You've been harping about Cinema Paradiso for how long, and you're dying on Equalizer 3?
I told Heather the other day, I think you hinted that you've seen Cinema Paradiso.
I've not seen it.
Oh.
I've seen the trailers and pulled enough scenes from you talking about it on there to know some of the things that happened.
What a disappointment.
I have offered to watch it with you, and you've said no every time. Thank you very much.
When would we be watching this?
I offered to watch it on Christmas when we were saying no.
Yeah, instead we watched some A24 film.
You went to bed. All right. We got the hard one out of the way. All right, number 4. Most original concept. This one was tough. It was tough. But I thought not enough is given to movies that step outside the box and do something a little different. And I put a movie in here that I saw originally and we reviewed, and we both had no freaking clue what it was about. I've seen it twice since then and still have no damn clue what it's about. But I like it more every time I watch it. And it is I Saw the TV Glow by Jane Schoenbrunn. It's just different. And I think, I don't know what it's about, but visually, it's got some of the best cinematography of the year. It's got some of the best music that I've seen this year. It's an interesting concept. It's A24. So I think it deserves to be seen, and someone needs to see it. It's just so different.
I've seen it on a lot of year-end top 10 lists.
And so I put it here because it deserves to be seen by somebody.
It's, you know, it's a lot. It's about gender fluidity.
And maybe that's why I have no idea what
yes,
it means.
and which I think it was a movie for the time period for younger folks, which tend to reject the traditional historical concepts of gender and sexual orientation and stuff. And so it was one of those. Once I sort of have read enough reviews, I think, okay, I see now what it is. It is it's almost like a drug induced trance, and the visuals.
Remind me of
and
2001: A Space Odyssey a little bit.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I don't know that I would watch it again, kind of deal, but it was surprising. So yeah. I give you that.
I thought I had to watch it again. I felt like it was, I needed to watch it again to see what did I miss.
Yeah,
because sometimes I feel like I'm in a different mindset when I'm in the theaters than when I'm watching it at home. I feel like sometimes I just understand things better in my comfort zone. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good choice. Well, my choice for the most surprising,
most original concept.
Yes, was
because you realize again.
I know
it's a different.
I got you. Is Saturday Night.
You saw it.
I did.
I was supposed to do a video with another guy.
Of course, I saw it. I think that what people my age remember that television used to be a lot of live programming, and there's something terrifying about live broadcasts where you turn the camera on and it just spills out into homes. And Saturday Night Live sort of was sort of a illustrative of that. It's a comedy variety show. And this whole movie was the hour before that show went on the air, and everything, the chaos that happens to make that occur. And so it's like, tightrope without a net kind of deal, because it's terrifying. You keep as you're watching this, especially if you're familiar with the show, and you're familiar with the show as it was broadcast in the 70s. That it's like, oh my goodness, are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? Is it going to work? Is it going to happen? And it is really the actors that they've assembled that portray the original characters, Chevy Chase and Garrett Morris. It's just, it's brilliant casting. You don't, as you watch it, you don't think about, he's doing an impersonation of Dan Aykroyd or whatever. It just is brilliant.
Which has got to be very difficult to do with something like that.
It is. And in some ways, it's on my list of top 10. And in some ways, I would even support a Best Picture nomination for it.
We're supposed to watch that movie with the buddy that I'd done a couple episodes with, and we were going to review it. Since we've done the SNL thing, we just hadn't got to it.
Your new co-host.
Maybe.
And Thor and we got our own spinoff here.
No, you're the gone. Thor's coming on. We're spinning off.
You got to watch it. This was this time period when it first came out. Everybody is talking about it. When you go to school and you're in college kind of thing, and you're saying, "Oh my goodness!" I mean, you're sitting in the dorm room and you're just watching what's truly you realize when you're seeing something you've never seen that before. Just good stuff.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one for most original concept.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to something that's completely and utterly unnecessary.
Oh, please. Can I go first?
No. I go first. 100% unnecessary. And that was going to be Madam Web, because it is 100% unnecessary.
I thought we would have the same movie. I'm shocked.
Was it Borderlands?
No.
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, but this is just unnecessary. I tried to watch it, couldn't make it through it. Could not make it through this. I have seen Battlefield Earth probably 10 times, and I can't make it through this. That's all I need to say. It's just bad. I'm sure that director S.J. Clarkson is a good director. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that Dakota Johnson is a capable actress. What in the hell were y'all thinking? And what bet did you lose to get locked into this trash heap? Because, first of all, who is this movie for? Who's the movie for? Because it's not for my demographic of MCU fans.
Marvel zombies.
It's not for your demographic. It's not for Heather's demographic. It's not for Bray's demographic. It's not for Matt's demographic. It's not for Cortland's demographic. It's for Zoe's demographic.
These are all family members.
And they're all different ages and
if you're keeping score.
yeah. But anyway, it's who is this movie for? You sell me a movie that doesn't have a target audience that's already bad. It made no sense.
Well, I am shocked because I was thinking that this would be the one film we would both 100% agree on. The most unnecessary movie of 2024, if not any year, Roadhouse.
I liked it.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No,
okay.
you didn't.
It was okay.
No, you didn't.
It was okay.
You hated it.
It was okay.
We hated it. We both hated it.
It was okay.
I've seen better film on teeth.
It's okay.
It was
okay.
unnecessary.
I didn't say it wasn't unnecessary.
That's the topic.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just said it was okay movie. It was
There's a
okay.
difference between being bad
Yes.
and being unnecessary. This
No,
is
I-
unnecessary.
I
We had no reason. There was no reason to do it.
No.
Didn't add anything at all.
But there was less of a reason.
Because
to do
it's
that one.
you are, it's just the original film said it all,
Right?
did it all. We don't need it. It's like
It's one of my
we have a
favorites.
Bible. Okay, let's come out with another Bible,
The
a
Bible
new Bible.
with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, no, it was yeah, and like you said, very capable director, very capable stars, and all that kind of stuff.
Not a bad movie, but
make
not
something
necessary.
different,
Yeah.
something original.
Completely unnecessary. I agree. But Madam Web's worse.
Do you want to
No.
change your?
No. Excusez-moi. All right. Down to the final two. I even make lists when I do the edit. When I'm at home editing, I make a secondary list that just has the titles and like dates on it. And I was so confident that your pick for documentary was going to be Superman. I've never done this before. And I filled your side in. All right. Number 2. Scariest movie of 2024. Listen to them.
Children of the Night. What music they make.
Nosferatu by Robert Eggers. This is where it lands for me because, and I'm not saying this to sound like a big, bad, tough guy. I'm just being honest. Ever since I went and took a class on horror films and they broke down how they work and the structure of horror films, I just don't get scared anymore. Very rarely do I get scared. It has to be like a super good, like tension building thing, or you're going to get me with a jump scare. But that even seldom happens. But Nosferatu got me. They were the right kind of jump scares. They were done the right way. It wasn't a cat. It wasn't a broom falling over or a gust of wind. They were all done properly. And it happened probably 3 or 4 times. The vibe, sort of the tension, the atmosphere built in this film is just really, really done just well through the first 2/3 of the film. It's just, I don't know that there was another film that was even coming close to getting in this category.
This was a very hard category for me. And I'm sitting here wanting to change what I had said because I had Nosferatu as best visuals.
Mhm.
And because of that, but I'm thinking I want to cheat and I want to say Nosferatu. Yeah, I had Quiet Place Day 1. I thought was originally one of my Heretic, Nosferatu. I'm gonna go with Long Legs. It was scary in a sick way.
Mm-hmm.
I like monster movies, and when I go to a monster movie, it's like Godzilla or something like that. I enjoy it as a thrill ride, but there's not like I don't expect to wake up the next day and look out my window and say, "Well, what's the
Ooh, what's
greatest
that?
kaiju that's out there?" The same thing with Nosferatu or Day One. Longlegs, I think you could think that this could happen. I mean, and it's this line between mental illness and evil
Mhm.
spirits kind of stuff. It is kind of terrifying. Um, Nick Cage, what he did in that was just kind of it was a sense of dread in it. I think that Nosferatu is a far superior film,
Yes, yes.
but I struggled to where I was going to put that in these 14 different categories, and in the end, I put it on its visuals, which is I think is stronger. But Longlegs, you're the one that had I remember mentioned it. You mentioned it as things that are coming, and one other episode kind of stuff, and we saw it, and I have very mixed feelings about it, but there's a level of realism to it that just is disturbing to me.
I'll agree. It was in the running at first for this until I thought of Nosferatu. It's got this really dreadful feeling that it will let on you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is just the cinematography and the lighting and just it's very gloomy and glum.
The dolls kind
Yeah,
of thing.
there's
yeah.
something that's just off about it. It's very unsettling. And so I
Yes.
totally agree.
Good word, unsettling.
I totally agree. It's a good one. And again, I thought it was a good year for horror movies, and that's just one of the reasons why. All right, to the final category for our 2024. Biggest surprise, because that's what it's all about, baby. Being surprised when you go to the film. You don't want to go see something you've seen before. And there was one movie that when I was done, I was here and my socks were in Louisville, baby. And that was Last Stop in Yuma County by director Francis Igalupi. We've already talked about it.
Yeah.
It's it's surprising, maybe.
It was.
Enough said.
And I think, I put it in the right category, I think, for me, which
Yeah.
was, the underrated, unknown kind of stuff. So throw it some love that way. So I agree with you. It is a great film. And the director of this, I'm really looking forward to the new, whatever they can do.
Because, there was two movies that, when I would sit down and do this list, like, there's two movies that I have to say something about because they're the two movies that kicked my butt the most this year.
Yeah.
That was Last Stop in Yuma County and Strange Darling. Those are the two. Like, if you
Yeah.
had to see two movies this year, those are the two I think people should see.
I had a lot of choices on this. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Hitman, Longlegs. I saw the TV go Trap, Strange Darling. In the end, the one that I went for the most surprising was Heretic with Hugh Grant. I've read since then that that the directors saw an interview with Hugh Grant. He says, "I'm just tired of making the same kind of movies," and so they wrote this with him in mind, kind of stuff. It is, we've talked about faith and faith films on this channel before, and full disclosure, I'm a Christian, and I don't think that I think a lot of faith films are bad, and I don't know that I would call this a faith film. I would call it a movie about faith or about crises of faith. And but it is terrifying, and it really does challenge you to think about what you believe and do you believe. And I believe in when we did our review of it, I said my hope is that people see the movie and they will say, okay, I'm going to question, I'm going to push the envelope on this, and I'm going to see, give themselves an opportunity to consider that there may be a higher power, of faith in something, and it can't be an accident. And so from that standpoint, I think the movie could serve a higher purpose. It really is. It's cat and mouse, and it's the story of two Mormon missionaries that stop at a house to share their message with a person, and it winds up getting locked in the house. It really is very, very surprising. The writing is surprising. It's very intelligent.
Yeah, very clever movie.
Yes, it is, and I don't know that I when we reviewed it, I don't know that I liked it, but the more I think about it, I think I really do like it.
I thought about putting it somewhere on here. It just didn't live up to the same heights as some other stuff. But I highly enjoyed that movie too.
Was it A24?
Yes. Got him.
Yeah, I guess you did.
And the girl who was in that is going to be in Companion coming up too.
Yes, we saw the trailer for that. So I'm looking forward to 2025.
Yes.
And we're probably going to do an episode of movies that we're looking forward to. We'll probably do something when it gets closer to Oscars in April about that. As always, we say go back, like and subscribe, look, watch every single episode.
I wonder if anybody's actually done
because your lives are empty. No, you'll get to know us and our sensibilities and how much we enjoy doing this and doing it together. But a new episode every single Thursday because of this guy right here, and then things to watch that comes out every Monday. We do something special in October every day in October.
31 days of Halloween.
Yes, kind of stuff. But we do field trips sometimes to Wonderfest.
Field trip.
Yeah, roadshow, that kind of stuff. So we're planning on doing the same thing this year. And, do you have anything to say to our audience? Any appreciation for their patience?
Hate you all.
We love your comments.
Kidding?
We do. We love. I know that internet is a cold and heartless place, and everybody has an opinion.
No, but this is why I do it for everybody out there.
Yeah.
No.
No.
We go watch these so that you don't have to watch them if you don't want to.
Yeah, but we want them to watch. Go watch the last stop to Yuma.
You take our opinions and then say, hey, maybe I'll go see that. Maybe I won't go see that.
Yeah. I think if I look back at 2024 and I would say, go see Conclave, go see Last Stop in Yuma County, go see Saturday Night, and My Old Ass.
Go see Strange Darlings.
Strange Darlings. It was a good year for surprising different movies. And so.
We'll see about next year.
You going to see Wicked?
Yeah, maybe we'll see. If it keeps doing as well, then I might be forced into seeing it.
Yeah.
It's only a part 1. Which they just need to stop with that nonsense too. Make it a TV show.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay.
We'll talk about that another time.
I guess we will. So anyway, thank you for your attendance in 2024, and we're going to try to do even better in 2025.
And we see you at the movies.
Ta-ta.
Kill.